In this episode of OG 55, we are on location. The OG 55 crew, the Italiano, Mr. Webba. We are in the same room together talking Disney news. This is Disney food news, though. Very interesting stories. We got 3 cool stories up next on OG 55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG 55. We got 3 stories today about Carsland, Goofy's Kitchen. We're going to talk about it, break it down. Before we do, though, I'm going to introduce these 2 lovely gentlemen. Mr. Webber, we'll start with you today. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter, Mr. Webber at Webslinger760. You can also find me on Threads and Instagram, Mr. Webber at Cobweb91, and also here on OG 55.
There he is. And we got the Italiano with the chest hair. Where can everybody find you, Mr. George?
Yes, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You can also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And, of course, you can find me right here on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner. With all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There we go. Okay, bear with me. I'm on a new computer, everybody. But we have a first story of the day coming from our good friend Mondo of Five Fires. The new Reds Community Garden is an incredible addition to Carsland at DCA. So they did some maneuvering over there in Carsland where they added this cool little area where you can eat, some seating for like when you pick up your food, whether it be at the Cozy Cone or what have you. Now, George has some interesting opinions. We have not heard it yet. This is our first time reacting to this. But George, what are your thoughts? I like it, but you don't. What's going on, George?
Okay, so for me, I'm digging the seating and everything. Carsland needed more of like a seating arrangement, especially for a lot of those like quick service spots and everything. And plus it's also a way, if during the summertime you have young kids, sit down under the umbrella, beat the heat and what have you. That's all.
Now beat the heat, not beat the meat. Let's be clear.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
I always gotta bring the conversation down into the gutter, right? Every single time. Go ahead.
So I'm fine with the seating and everything. My issue is actually the signage with red up at the top, and I get it. It's all about the theme and everything, but this strikes to me that if this was permanent, the signage reminds me of something that you would do temporarily, like during like Pixar Fest or something. Plus, the whole reason why I love Carsland is how relatively close it is to the film, and to have a character on the top of the signage that you wouldn't see this in the film, it kind of throws it off that you want to be able to walk into the film with every little detail. And for me, this kind of throws it off. If this was temporary, I'm okay with it. But if this is a permanent signage,
it looks permanent.
Yeah, I'm not digging it.
But now here's the thing. I want to ask you this, because Luigi's Rollickin' Roasters isn't in the movie, right? I mean, that's not a thing in the movie.
Well, the attraction is still based off of his shop.
Okay.
So the facade is, you see his
shop. So you're fine, because the aesthetics is still from the movie,
right. Even
though once you get into the attraction, that's different. But it's still based on the thing from the movie.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, this does not look temporary. It does very much look like a permanent thing. I personally like it. Now here's the problem. You bring up a great point though, George. When Disney or even Universal, when Universal goes in there with like Wizarding World and they recreate an area from the movie beat by beat, what happens then when the theme park logistics kind of get in the way and you have to kind of go beyond what was seen in the movie? Like that's what happened here. I think they needed new seating and what have you. So they built this little area to have this all in one little area, to get people to give people more opportunities to find a spot when they get their food. But that's theme park logistics getting in the way of like the accuracy of what's in the film. You know what I'm saying? So you come across these things now where it's like now you're changing it. So I don't know. It's an interesting debate for sure. What do you think, Eva? You like this, or do you or are you more on the Italianos side with this? Where
I'm actually indifferent. It doesn't like cool. It's a new addition. It doesn't blow me away. However, I will say that this archway and the color scheme really reminds me more of like San Francisco. Really?
I was just gonna. You know what? It's funny you say that because I was gonna say the color scheme doesn't fit in with the Carsland style. It's very bright. It's very vibrant. I could actually like even the structure of the build of it.
Right, if you go back to the first picture.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I got you.
Yeah, because I look at it and it reminds me of it's very San Francisco-ish.
You know,
style.
Kind of. Actually, you know what it reminds me more of? Pixar Pier. The wood paneling.
Yeah,
See, and that's what I was saying. It throws off like a temporary like Pixar Fest kind of vibe to me because it's something that I'm not used to seeing in Radiator Springs in the film. And maybe I would be okay with it if they changed the color scheme and get rid of red at the top. Okay. I think having like the character up there is kind of like throwing it off for me.
And also I want to add this too inside this conversation, not necessarily about like the archway or the design, more about dining in general, is that in my opinion, DCA has not enough indoor dining. I'd like to see more indoor dining.
That's a great point.
And they have a lot of outdoor, and they do have some indoor, but I would like to see more indoor dining.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. There isn't enough sit-down restaurants at DCA. You're right. It's all outdoor. You have the entire food court thing over there at San Francisco. Yeah. Not a lot of indoor dining over there. You have this thing. I mean, all of Carsland is indoors except for Flo's.
Yeah.
I mean, the only indoor is Flo's and so the Italian place, right?
Yeah. So Flo's is like a hybrid. It's outdoor and indoor. So if it's like two packed indoor, you have to go outside.
Right.
And they have Carthay Circle, which is
Carthay.
Besides the alfresco dining, it's all everything's inside, which is good. Lamplight is also a hybrid. So we have indoor sections, but I want to see more fully indoor.
Well, and you can't even really con Lamplight too, because I mean, you can't even get a reservation half the time.
No, you can't. Yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, DCA needs more sit-down restaurants. Actually, to be honest with you, so does Disneyland.
I was going to say Disneyland just needs restaurants.
Yeah, more restaurants in general, and also too because like when you look at DCA, right? When it's hot, I feel like compared to Disneyland, when it's hot, you really feel the heat in DCA. And then when it's raining too, like okay, I'm gonna go to a restaurant. All the hybrid indoor outdoor ones are full. Now it's left out sitting outside in the rain. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, or even if it's hot, you have umbrellas, but sometimes not your table won't always have an umbrella.
Yeah.
To protect you from the heat.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. This is an interesting change here from in Carsland. Definitely a move they made out of a logistical need. And I understand that. I mean, that Cozy Cone area is such a mess. And we're actually going to get more into the Cozy Cone stuff in a second, but it's such a mess. Very hard to find seating. I get why they have this. But I also understand George's point where it's like now you're straying from the accuracy of the movie. You recreated Radiator Springs, and now you're sort of veering off, no pun intended, from that original vision. And that is one of the problems of creating a land based completely 100% on the film. And, this is an issue that Disney's going to have. It's also an issue that Universal will have with certain things like Wizarding World, where it's like beat for beat. A duplicate of the film. A lot of people were talking crap about Galaxy's Edge, which I understand. People wanted Tatooine or they wanted Hoth, but the issue with those things is that when you recreate something from the movie, you come across issues like this, where it's like, well, wait a minute, they didn't have trees in Tatooine, so now we can't have trees in our theme parks, right? So you have issues when you tie yourself to the source material, but in this case, Disney already tied themselves to the source material by building it. So now what do you do, right?
Well, so with Star Wars, this is why I think, because I know everybody wanted a Hoth or a Tatooine, right? But here's the thing, those are like singular environmental planets. Yeah. Whereas I know a lot of the planets are, But that's why I think Batu as an idea is really good for a planet because it can have the forestry, the rock work, everything like that. It's more kind of urban-ish.
Right.
And that's why I think if you were to put like something like Naboo, because Naboo is very beautiful, very green. There's urban architecture in there as well. But that's something from the movies that people have seen.
Right.
You know, so with Batu, it's very much, oh, here's a planet that's always existed.
Right.
You know, you guys have no idea what it is until now. You know, but there's no connection because we never experienced it for ourselves on the big screen.
Right. No, well said. Well said, Eva. Well said. All right. So let's go ahead and do our next food story of the day. And this is from our friend Andrea. We love Andrea. Andrea is an absolute sweetheart. Andrea here says they added one consolidated standby ordering line for all the cozy cones and blocked out the window so you can't see in the office. Another way Disney makes their own problems, then solves them by rooting the original design. The office is so cute. Okay, so here is the thing. I gotta say, I actually am in favor of this. I don't think this looks bad. I have to respectfully disagree with Andrea. First of all, I don't think it looks bad, number one. But number two, I think it addresses a real issue with the Cozy Cone. The Cozy Cone has great food. Great food. I love the bacon mac and cheese cone thing, whatever it is. I love it. But a lot of times I don't want to even bother getting it because it's such a cluster, bleep over there with the ordering situation. It's just a mess. This consolidates everything into one line, into one clean, organized ordering station, kind of away from the cones a little bit. I mean, the office was cute. I mean, I do agree with Andrea, but like the thing is like, I think this is a fair trade-off. I do, in my opinion. And again, it's all subjective. It really is, So for some people like Andrea, it might not be worth it. And I understand that. I respect that. But for me personally, I think losing a little something like that in exchange for having it be a much more effective ordering process, I think is worth it in this particular case because that Cozy Cone situation is a total mess. It's an absolute mess. They had to do something. So I'm glad they're actually kind of cleaning it up, making it more efficient. George, what are your thoughts on this?
So for me, I'm kind of like in the middle with this. I could see both ends because I do agree with you. The Cozy Cone area, although it's very like the film and how it's set up, it gets backed up like a bowel movement, like so bad. Like over there, it's so crowded, it's so tight. I had a joke about that, but I'll leave it go. And so they did need to fix the issue. However, like this isn't bad. Like the color scheme, it fits. But again, I'm going to kind of go back again to play devil's advocate on both sides. That by getting rid of the office, it takes away from the look of the aesthetics that you're basing it off of the film. Now, what I would have done, I would have maybe kept the office, but maybe like take it out, but maybe rebuild it in this style. So you would have the office that it would still keep the aesthetics of the film, but make the office to what this kind of setup is.
Okay. All
That's
right.
what I would have done.
What say you, Mr. Weber? You like this? Not so much like the idea.
So I don't have too much skin in the game with this one because I've been here a few times, but not enough. Times I have, I'm just not. And this is another issue I'm going to bring up too. I feel that a lot of the quick service places in the Disneyland Resort as a whole just take way too long.
Yeah.
Whether it's standby or if you do standby, of course they prioritize mobile ordering, right?
Yeah.
But even when you didn't have mobile ordering, it took way too long. You stood in line forever. You waited a good amount of time for your food. I think there needs to be a quicker process for standby, if you're going to wait in standby. And with Cozy Cone, each time I've been there, it's just been kind of a hassle to get food.
It's a hassle getting food over there. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because I love the Cozy Cone's food. I do. I like the bacon mac and cheese thing, all that. It's great. They have the ice cream, right? Mm-hmm. It's fantastic stuff. But a lot of times I don't want to even bother with it because of like it's just a mess in there, Yeah.
For me, it feels too chaotic in that area.
Yeah, it's way too chaotic. So if this can bring a little bit of organization and kind of ease that a little bit, I'm all for it. I really am. So, and I don't think it looks bad. I think this is a fine solution. I think it makes actually a whole lot of sense.
I would take that over the first
the Reds community garden.
Yeah. I would say for me for this and even for like the community garden thing, I would need to actually see it in person because we have photos, right? But like I would want to see it in person from all angles.
And we all know how photos can be very misleading.
Oh, absolutely, George. Absolutely.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So very interesting stuff coming out of DCA. They're making changes over there in Carsland. Operational changes more mostly. These are not really something that's for like the. I mean, it's a guest experience operational thing.
But on a positive side, whether or not that we like the aesthetics of what they're adding, at least it's good to see Disney addressing it. Yeah,
that's fair. That's absolutely fair. And our last and final story of the day is from Laughing Place, and they're celebrating 25 years. Happy 25th, Laughing Place. We love them over there. They're awesome people. Goofy Sky. Oh man, Goofy's Kitchen Springtime Buffet returns for second year at the Disneyland Hotel. Dine alongside some of your favorite characters, including Goofy and Clarabelle, in their springtime finest. Let's go ahead and see what they look like. Okay, I mean it's cute. I don't know. I haven't been to Goofy's Kitchen since I was a kid.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh, look at this, dude. Disney's selling LA Strong shirts for the fire. The proceeds go to the fire. I think we might do a video on that, by the way, which is awesome. So. Yeah. What's up? Just kidding. No, we love our LA, and that's really cool that Disney's doing that. But anyway, I haven't been to Goofy's Kitchen since I was a kid. I used to love it when I was a kid. I thought it was great. I just haven't been there in a really long time. Character dining is fun, but as a grown up, I'm not like, I don't know. I'll leave it. What say you, George?
Yeah, I mean it's cute. Yeah, it's definitely cute, like for the young kids and everything. Personally, honestly, I've never been to Goofy's Kitchen.
So it's not cute for you, bro?
It's honestly because every time I make a reservation, it's like super early in the morning. It's like, okay, and then like the night of, like before, it's like, damn, I don't want to get up that early. Like it's cute, but I mean, like, I'm good.
I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm probably the one who has the most experience with Goofy's Kitchen from you guys. Me and my wife, we ate there 2 or 3 times actually.
Wow.
We had 2 times for breakfast. Other time was dinner, I believe. And no, here's the it's fun. Like every like 15, 20 minutes or so, like characters come out for like at least like a good like 20 minutes. They dance and stuff around.
Cool.
You get up, you go get like your food, right? They have desserts.
You want to check out Clarabelle's udders?
No, her udders. Clarabelle's udders. Woo, she's thick, bro. She's thick.
Hey, well, you know who's thick too? Italiano.
The thickie. No.
Thicky and sticky.
Oh, the thicky and sticky guy. Go ahead, Emma. You were saying?
Yeah, no, it's actually a lot of fun. It is been on the pricier side. Like for 2 of us, it was like a little over 100.
Okay.
So, but it is all you can eat buffet. So if you love buffets and all you can eat style, do that.
I had all you can eat this morning. It was great.
Oh, absolutely. Spicy.
Yeah, very, very.
But no, it's actually a pretty good time. The only character you don't get though, at least for what we had, was there was no Mickey. Okay. It was like Goofy, Pluto, Minnie, Chippendale, Minnie, but there was like no Mickey.
That's right.
Well, maybe once we had Mickey, but it's very rare.
Okay.
At least for our experience that we had.
Goofy's like, you get enough publicity.
Yeah,
this is my restaurant.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's called Goofy's Kitchen, right? Yeah. And also it's cool too when you get in there. They do have when you're waiting, they do have a photo op area like right by like before you get seated.
Okay.
So you can wait in the line, get a photo op with Goofy and whatnot. So yeah, it's actually a pretty good restaurant.
Okay.
The food isn't bad.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't been there for a long time. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like that would be like an experience, like just to say, like if we did together, like as a group, that would be cool. Like I wouldn't go like out of my way to say, oh, I'm gonna like take the time to go to Goofy's Kitchen, but I mean, if it was ever in the itinerary,
yeah, why not? Yeah. Absolutely. Well, gents, it's fantastic having all of us in the same room talking all today about Disneyland Resort food, basically, right? We got Goofy's Kitchen, all the changes happening to Carsland, some pretty interesting stuff. Mr. Webber, I'll close it out with you and then go to George. Where can everybody find you, Mr. Webber?
Absolutely. You can find me on the West Coast You can find me on Twitter.
West Coast.
You can find me on Twitter, Mr. Webba at Webslinger760. You can also find me on Threads and Instagram, Mr. Webba at Cobweb91. You can also find me here on OG55.
There he is. And the Italiano. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
And you could also find me on the West Coast now. So,
woo!
But you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And please definitely check out the new sister channel that will be coming online, Citrico Central, which is basically in-park vlogging, any kind of from Disney parks, Universal, events, all that good jazz. The channel is up. You can subscribe. There's nothing up yet, but I guarantee you definitely want to check it out.
Yep, there will be some stuff up. Citrico Central, and the 2 new shows from Webba, Web Shots, short form content, and Webbavision long form content. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55. We're going to end it with the Queen right now.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.